Hi guys, Matthew from The Journey, and in today's video what I'm going to be covering is I'm going to be looking over exercise progressions, program progressions, and maybe how that would look in your program and where your progression would look like over our training blocks as well. So a lot of the time our main questions that are asked is why we do exercise a certain way, why do we progress in our weights a certain way, or maybe why are we focusing on the one exercise at the one time when we're doing our training. That all comes down to the type of progression methods that we use in the gym, which can go down a big rabbit hole of what these exercise progressions are. There's many different ways to progress in the gym, but what we're going to be looking at today is our linear approach, which you can see behind me, and then looking into our undulating approach, which is right behind me as well here. So the basic one that everyone will see the most in the gym is a linear approach, but when you hear the word linear, that is when you start to get a wee bit confused because you don't know what that actually looks like. So to make this video a lot easier today, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the deadlift. We're going to do one exercise, and then this will show you a wee bit better what these types of progression look like over time as well. So today, to start with, we're going to go for linear progression. Linear progression is basically an easier way of saying adding weight or adding reps over a number of time as well. So if you look at the graphs up onto the board behind me, then we can see these two little lines here. This is what everyone perceives linear progression as, is over time your deadlift would go from 100 kilos and then in 4 weeks time it will go up to 120 kilos, or maybe in 3 months time it will go up to 150 kilos. That is really what people would like to see, but the reality of what linear training is these little breaks in the line as well. So you're going to have a period of time where you're going to progress by an awful lot and you're going to be training at high intensity, but then your body's going to begin to plateau and maybe break down a little bit while you're doing it. So you'll experience that little break there. But once your body's started to recover, it's adapted to the training that you've been doing, then you can go right back into it again and try and hit for a wee bit higher. But your body's naturally going to have that little plateau phase. So linear progression is really good for all those beginners that are maybe wanting to try and improve their lifts. They're getting into the gym and they want to make sure that they're making steady progress and in a short period of time as well. So if we're looking at this in a basic example, let's look at it at 5x5. Each week you are doing 5 sets of 5 reps, but every week you are trying to add on 2.5 kilos at the end of each of your sets. So by week 1, you've done 100 kilos for a 5x5. Week 2, you've done 102.5 kilos for a 5x5. Week 3, you're 105. Week 4, 107.5. And week 5, you are going into 110 kilos. That is how that is going to look as a linear approach. That is going to be constantly looking to increase that intensity over time until your body reaches its limit where it will begin that breakdown and that plateau as well. So for this one, it is perfect for beginners because it is easy to follow. It's great for building a solid foundation in any lift or any training, and it is one that we try to use with a lot of our clients/athletes that come to us within the journey, because we want to try and look at progressing our lifts and our movements as well over a good period of time. But then once you're maybe looking at frequently training to maybe above 4 or 5 times a week, maybe even training every day, maybe twice a day, the linear approach can become a wee bit tedious. You might get a bit sick of a certain exercise. You might struggle to recover as well because you've got so many variables that come into your linear approach that might actually leave you at a plateau all the time. So you might struggle to make any progress, but that's when programming really needs to sit down and look at your goals and see where you're going as well, because linear approach works with any style of training, but it really needs to be looked at when you want to train more frequently. But in talk of making sure that we are not making any exercises tedious and want to keep ourselves on the toes, then we look at an undulating approach. So undulating approach is maybe a wee bit more for our experienced lifters, they're a wee bit more advanced, and they maybe want to try and look at many training disciplines at the one time. They might not want to just look at a deadlift, they might want to look at a high pull as well. So that's deadlifting from the floor, bringing it up from that catch position in a clean, all these different ones are exercises that you can see when you're looking at an undulating approach. Because as the difference in the lines you see, undulating approach takes a wee bit more of a wave-like function where it is progressing through the week. So if we look at in terms of intensity, you could look at more of a strength phase here, where you're trying to get a lot stronger in the lift. Then you're going to be trying to look at more power, speed, and you are making your way through that wave there. So undulating approach is greater for people that are maybe want to train more frequently, because you are having that range of intensity where you are making sure that your body is getting that adequate time to recover when you're looking at different variations of the movement. You're not overusing a specific stimulus / movement. It gives you a lot more time to recover. It means you're going to add a wee bit more disciplines to your training. So if we're looking at the deadlift, 1 week you might be doing a 5x5. Next week you might be on more of a power focus or a speed focus. If it was a speed focus, you might add in a band. You might go for a lighter weight, you might add in a band to your exercise, and then you're looking at trying to get that speed off of the floor as well. So that just makes it a wee bit more exciting for the movement, and it allows to make sure that your body is not doing too many deadlifts while you're doing it as well. So yeah, it's greater for recovery. It's a more advanced method for any trainers and any people that are wanting to try and broaden their lifting experience as well. But both of these methods are really good for any type of lifter, but the main point of it, which I'm trying to put across, is you need to make sure that you are promoting it in the correct way. So anyone can use the linear progression, anyone can use the undulating progression, but it's about understanding where you are at as a person and then where you would like to go as well, because someone might come in that's a beginner and they want to make sure that they're learning everything. So they might want to follow more of an undulating approach because they don't want to put their body through too much strain. They want to focus on different disciplines, not just strength. So undulating approach could be perfect for them. Maybe someone that wants to do all that but isn't going to get into train as much as they would like might benefit more off a linear approach. But that's going to come down to the conversations that we have with you when you come into our centre as well. We want to make sure that we're sitting with you, mapping out your full program and really getting you understanding where you're going and how we're going to get there as well. So this series is going to be taken over the next few weeks, and I'm going to be answering any questions you might have about programming, training, nutrition, anything that's going to help you and benefit you. Just give me a wee message or let any of the coaches know any topics you'd like to cover. I'll be happy to help. Hopefully hear from you soon, guys, and see you later. Bye-bye.